What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT, and today we are working on the Procharged 426 Hemi again. So where we left off last time was we did some fuel, and I still haven't mocked it up because this is the same day that I worked on that. So anyway, what we're doing is doing some vacuum lines. I have pretty much everything that I need, minus like a couple things, like really close to being done. So what I'm going to do is install my fittings and try to run some lines and route some stuff to see how close I can get it to actually being able to install the intake manifold. So I know it's kind of jumbled all over the place here, but bear with me. So here are some fittings that I ordered off of McMaster. Basically, McMaster is like a wholesaler for everything, and they have a lot of fittings, pipe, like literally anything industrial. They will have it. And I really wanted to go with these push to connect fittings, guys, because it's super professional and it looks super sick. So this is kind of what I have figured out. So this will be the back of the intake manifold. Back here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So number one is going to be a 1/4 inch NPT for the evap canister. And that's going to be a 1/4 inch NPT to 3/8 inch push to connect 90, which is right here. And then we need, for the brake booster, is a 1/4 inch NPT. That's what it is on the intake manifold. And then we need one of those 1/4 inch NPTs to 1/2 inch push to connect 90s. And I have those already. So what I needed to do is get one 3/8 NPT to 1/2 inch push to connect straight. That's what this is right here. And for the catch can is 1/4 inch NPT to 3/8 push to connect 90. I kind of just did all this stuff in my head, so we're going to see if it works. So since we're going to be moving this thing in and out a bunch, I just taped the top. That way if I do nick it, it's going to have a little layer of protection with this masking tape. So this is part number 3NBMM001 from Procharger. This is the manifold for 350Z, etc. So I have push to connect here, so it'll be intake, push to connect. This will go to the blow off valve. This will be plugged. This will be to the boost gauge, which will be right in front of the driver's side, and then it'll be a rubber hose from here to the factory brake booster. Today we're working on the Charger again. Today it's small stuff. I've been waiting on parts for a little bit over a week now, so little small stuff like boost gauge, things like that. You saw that in the video prior to this. So I have those here. I'm going to make sure that I have the correct fitting for the transcooler lines, and if that is the case, we're going to try to either make lines or at least get lines ready to go so we can run to our transcooler, put the front end of the car back together. Man, I tell you what, I cannot get enough of that rear end, baby, that ass. All right, guys, let's go ahead, bring all the parts in, and just admire the beauty that is Martha. Meow. Hold on, we'll do spotlight action. Meow. Dope. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started. So first things first, let's show you guys what I got. So this is my 1/2 inch hose. This will be for the push to connect fittings. Here's my boost gauge that'll be running. We'll be installing a sensor for that today. Here's my fuel pressure gauge. I have a couple of fittings here. I don't remember what these are for. Oh, this is the -6 orb, so that goes in the fuel pressure regulator. -8 orb goes in the fuel pressure regulator. And here are a couple fittings that one will go in the fuel pressure regulator, the other one is going to go on the bottom of the intake manifold. We have SKF brand. I got cats everywhere. SKF brand axle nuts. I don't have them for my Hellcat axles yet, so I made sure I ordered a few before I forgot. And then we have a few possible fittings that I might have to use. And then the fitting that I'm really hoping works is this one right here. This is actually to go to the thermal bypass valve. I've been playing hell trying to find the correct size for that, so I guess we'll figure out what that is. Hopefully this works. So this is a sensor I'm going to be installing today. Right here. Ooh, baby. It's going to be boost. Super simple. It's very simple technology here. We're just gonna have a plug and it goes straight to the cabin. It's gonna be super nice. So let me show you guys what it's gonna go into. So here's my vacuum manifold. So the whole purpose of this, it's gonna be sitting like this in the engine bay, is to distribute vacuum. So we're gonna have vacuum coming from the intake manifold into the vacuum manifold, and then from here it's actually gonna go to the blow-off valve, and then from here we're going to go straight to the fuel pressure regulator, and then from here it's going to go with a rubber hose. As you can see, it's a barbed fitting into the brake booster. So this is super sick. It's actually what they send you from Procharger. I'm doing this stuff myself because this stuff is super legit. People don't typically do this. I have seen it on cars before, but it's just next level stuff, man. Push to connect fittings. Just want to make sure that you get some high temp stuff, and even then I bought some fiberglass wrap silicone around the outside to go around these hoses so that the heat doesn't destroy them or melt them. So basically what I'm going to do right now, thread this into here, and there's our vacuum manifold just like that. So I'm going to put some thread sealant. This is the stuff that I really like to use. It's Permatex, and it's like a pipe dope. I don't like using thread tape. I don't think anybody should use thread tape on a car, but obviously that's personal preference. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get the right wrench for this and we'll tighten it up. All right, we've got it installed and it's about as simple as that. So this part of it is done. Now we can move on. Okay, so pretty much the same exact concept for this. I have a 1/2 inch push connect fitting right here with 1/4 inch threads on this side. Even though there is a little bit of sealant on here, I'm still gonna put some on, but I have my 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter, and we're just gonna run this in. It's gonna be super sick. Okay, so I don't like this at all. See, this is how it sits. I want them to be facing as parallel with the runners as possible. That way it's not kind of shooting off. So what I'm going to do is remove my plug here and actually put it right here in between the two. Split them up. This really isn't turning out exactly how I wanted it to, because I am going to have to kick off of this, except I guess we'll see what comes of it. So yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. Kind of be pushed off like this. It won't be too bad, actually. It looks pretty good. Not too mad at it. So another thing that I picked up was a 1/4 inch NPT, or no, this is a 16th NPT to 1/4 inch push to connect. So I'm gonna swap out this fitting on the fuel pressure regulator for it, and then it'll be push to connect everywhere. So I'm gonna throw some thread sealant on this and install it. And just like that, she's installed. Super sick. I'm really excited about that. I am going to change this bracket up with something a little bit thicker because it's really flimsy right now. So I also have my -6 and -8 orb fittings to install into this. So let's go ahead and throw those in. So this is what it looks like, guys. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bung and install our Aeromotive fuel pressure gauge. And here we go, guys. Fully installed. Ready to throw back in the car. This is fully assembled and we don't have to do anything more with this now. So I am going to call it a night, guys. I kind of ran into a weird spot where I could keep going, but I can't at the same time. So in these O-ring locators, I guess is what we're going to call them, there is some imperfections that the factory left that I'm going to have to file down. I don't have a precise file here. I'm going to have to take it home and do that. And I also have to make this bracket. I think I'm going to be able to do that tomorrow at my Uncle Art's house. I'll get a hold of him and make sure I can confirm that. And then I have the correct fittings for the transmission lines. I'm also waiting for a radiator, so that's great. I have the right fittings for the thermal bypass valve, which is right there where those paper towels are. So I can run my -6 line from that to where my trans cooler is going to be. So once I have those fittings installed, we'll be moving forward. So I guess it's going to be a day or so for me, but for you it'll be a couple seconds. See you tomorrow. Okay, so now that we have the fuel pressure regulator installed, before we install the fuel lines for the last time, I want to blow them out with air just in case there is some particulates from when we cut them left in there. I don't want that get in my fuel or clog any filters that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect them where they're landed, blow them out, and then we're going to go ahead and install them into the fuel pressure regulator, well, at least the dash 6. Button this up. I really want to button up the inner fender liner and put the wheels back on, but in order to do that, I have to install the transcooler lines and install the power steering rack one more time. So that's one step closer. We're going to go ahead and do that. First thing I'm going to do is clean out these lines first, and then go towards the thermal bypass valve, run my transcooler lines. Probably end up making those lines too, so those are going to be AN. I have the correct fittings for those, and I will provide the right size for you because I went everywhere, I couldn't find them. I had to buy like 5-6 different fittings to test fit them, so I'll make sure that you guys have the right size for those just in case you're gonna do the same thing I did. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so now that those are blown out, lines are reinstalled. If you don't know how a push to connect fitting works, this is how it works. Let me mock you guys up here. Okay, so this is a high temperature, classified for flame and smoke only. So I think this was like 150 or 170 degrees it was good for, which obviously temperatures in the engine bay can get higher than that. So I do have a protective covering for them. But as simple as this, instead of having barbs, push it on, use a hose clamp. So what you're gonna do, just push it in. And then no matter how hard I pull on this, it doesn't come out. All you have to do, push in this plastic blue piece and it pulls right out. And as you can see with that line, it's where it bites into. So that's how that works. Just push it in, and I have this kind of mocked up right here. This is just a little short piece I don't end up using. I will set the intake on, push this intake or this brake booster hose on, get it exactly the length I want, cut it, and then we'll install that on the chassis side, and then we'll do the same thing down the line over and over until we have all our vacuum lines ran, and then we'll throw the intake on, push on our lines, and then we'll be good to go. So my brake booster one is done. I did have to cut my rubber line that goes from the brake booster to the manifold, and I did have to cut about this much off of the line that I made. So luckily I made it a little long. I wanted to make sure that my fitting was actually pointing directly through the car and not cocked one way or the other, so that they can go around the heater core hoses right here. That way that you're not having an excessive heat buildup. So I have those set in place, or the intake set in place. That line ran in place. So now I'm going to remove it from the manifold, pull the manifold out, and I'm going to install my my heat resistant sheathing. So this is the stuff I went with. It is AC Performance 3/8 ID. So this actually fits perfect for the 1/2-inch hose that I have. So it's fantastic. I love it. It's got fiberglass on the inside and silicone on the outside, kind of like my silicone radiator hoses. When you see it, it's going to pop, and it's going to do exactly what it's intended to, and that's keep the heat off of the hoses that I have ran. Look at that. That is nice. I dig that. That is super cool, super professional. That is fantastic. That's awesome. Really looking forward to that. So here's what the 1/2-inch hose looks like. Pretty even on both ends. I'm just going to take it off, move on to the next one. This will be my evap canister, so we'll see how that goes up. I think this is a 3/8 hose. So I'm going to route it just like this. I'll make sure I have my sheathing over this as well, but I want to make sure that we're cut to the right length, so I'm going to go ahead and mock it up. Okay, so now we have the 3/8-inch hose done. That's going to go for the evap canister, perfect length. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I'm in the hotel again. Here I am shooting these videos, editing these for you guys, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Going through all the vacuum lines pretty much. Next time we're going to get into mounting fuel rails onto the intake, installing the intake, and might even actually dip into some wiring. So there's going to be a lot of wiring to do with this car. a lot of custom stuff. So don't forget to go ahead and check me out on TikTok, MojoGT. Instagram is _MojoGT_. And on top of that, you can go ahead and cop yourself some merch at shopmojogt.com. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. See you next time. Peace.